Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ha, Racha, Chadash, Ma'ama. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder of this camp as well, Aharawan Banya Sharala. Salutations to the sincere Aki, pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm the call Harab Banya Sharala, coming out of the Lions Den camp of Yasharala here in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, today I'll be coming out with a lesson. The title of it is Distributed Power, and it was inspired by me watching a video about trains and how they use Salakia. Anyway, Salakia with some background noise. I just wanted to be a little more focused. But anyways, like I was saying, this video was inspired by me watching a video on YouTube about trains and how they use what they call distributed power in order to pull the massive loads and the lengths of these trains. You know, they have one main engine that's manned by an actual person or conductor, and then they have these other, I may have like maybe two more engines within the train, freight train cars between them to help pull the load, to help lighten the load, you know, so that it won't be too much of a struggle on one engine. And I kind of relate that to the scriptures. That's how the Most High has done. He's given every man in this a level of distributed power to function, to do the things that they need to do. You know what I'm saying, for him. You know, we are all we'll say we're many different parts, but we're one body. Each part has an amount of distributed power to function in its process. So without further ado, I'm gonna jump in, and this is gonna be Ephesians chapter 4. I'm gonna just start at verse 4, straight to the point. It says, "There is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling." There is one body, one spirit. The body spiritually is Yahweh Shai, you know, because we make up the body of a Mashiach. There is one body, there is one spirit, even as we are called in one hope. You know what I'm saying? Of our calling. We are only called by Yahweh Shai. We can only receive our amount of distributed power from Yahweh Shai. You cannot receive any other power from any other source, you know, outside of righteousness that pertains to being and living according to righteousness and breaking down these scriptures. We all have our level of distributed power. You know, continue. Verse 5. It says, "It's one Lord, one faith, and one baptism." So you know, it's one Lord, it's one faith, and it's one baptism. Because you know, a lot of our people, you know, are caught up in various beliefs, various philosophies, and various doctrines. But there is this right here saying there's only one Lord. You know what I'm saying? One faith and one baptism. As a matter of fact, let me get something real quick. Look this up real fast. So like to bear with me real quick. It's like it said, what, one faith, one Lord, one baptism. Well, that one faith, that one Lord, that one baptism is Yahweh Shai. It's this truth. Real quick, what is it? So like you bear with me. Just want to get right to it. You want to be flipping. This is John chapter 14, verse 16. It says, verse 6, Salakia, verse 6. John chapter 14, verse 6. It says, "Yahweh saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." So that one faith, that one Lord, and that one baptism is talking about Yahweh Shai. It's talking about this truth. It's talking about the doctrine. There's only one way. Only one way you can get to the Lord. And the only way you can get to the Lord is if you go through Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai is the truth and the life. Nobody can come to the Father but by him. And through Yahweh Shai is how we get our amount of distributed power to function as a body in spirit, to function under that, one Lord, that one faith, and that one baptism. It's only one way to Yahweh. It's only one way to righteousness. There's no many ways to the truth. It's only one way to the truth. But let's continue. This is verse 6. It says, one God and Father, meaning one power, which is Yahweh, of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. It's talking about Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is everywhere. He's in everything. He's above all. He's above everybody. He's above Yahweh Shai, because it's the Father, the Son, the man, the woman, the children. It's the foundation for building for per se a house. But that's order, and that's also distributed power, because Yahweh gave Yahweh Shai power, the amount of distributed power, give it to him, and then Yahweh Shai, when he came down here, he gave his men, his hopeful elect, amount of distributed power. Why? To pull the load. Why? To be able to function, to do this work of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. This is verse 7. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of a Mashiach. Another example of distributed power. It says, but to every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of a Mashiach. Meaning, according to the amount of distributed power that we have been given by Yahweh Yahushua. I'm going to kind of jump down real quick. Let me see. Yeah, verse 8. I'm going to keep going. It says, wherefore he said, when he ascended up on the high, he led captivity, like a captivity captive, and gave gifts unto men. So when the Lord ascended and he left, he gave gifts to men. He led the captivity of the captives. But our people are captive in this captivity, then and now, because our people were hard-headed. But while he was here, he gave gifts to men. Meaning what? He gave every man a level of distributed power to function. Let's say you got a hand. Each one of these fingers got a level of distributed power in it in order to function as one single entity or organism. Each finger on your hand got a level of distributed power. Your eye got a level of distributed power. Your tongue got a level of distributed power. And different parts. But they're one part of one body. Let's say you lose an index finger. Your grip is severely hampered. You can still grip, but it's hard to grip. It's hard to have a solid grip. Just to let you know, you got an eye. You lose an eye. You lose that 3D way of seeing things. And one eye has to compensate for the other eye, and so forth and so forth. That's why each of us in this truth we all have a level of distributed power. One brother may be a finger, another brother may be an eye, one brother may be the tongue. Everybody in this thing, we all got our level of distributed power and our gifts that Yahushua gave us, and we use those gifts to help lighten the load or to help push forth this truth and help the body of righteousness and truth function. Verse 9. Now that he ascended, Salakia, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? So now that he ascended, hold on. All right, Khan Salakia was, but let's continue. Verse 9, it says, now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? Verse 10, he that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all the heavens, that he might fill all things, and that's what Yahushua came to do. He came to fulfill all things. He came to fulfill the prophecies that was set up for him to fulfill, and he did that. And he went far up above the heavens, and he's sitting on the right hand of Yahushua. Verse 10. It's like verse 11. It says, and he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors, and some teachers. See, he gave men various gifts. He gave every man a level of distributed power. As it says, he gave some apostles, some prophets, apostles to be sent out, prophets to say before, to speak before, evangelists, and some pastors, leaders, and teachers. Every man has a gift. Every brother has a level of distributed power in this truth. And we all must work in tandem with each other in order to function properly, just like the body. A finger or the hand can't do what it want to do, while the rest of the body functioning right, or so forth and so forth. But let's go to verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach. That's what the Lord. That's what it means by distributed power. The Lord gave apostles, and so again, some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and some teachers for the perfecting of the saints, so that our people can be made righteous, made without blame before the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and for the work of the ministry, doing the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, for the edifying of the body, for the building up of the body of Hamashiach, for the building up of our people spiritually. Verse 13. Till we all come in the unity of faith. See, we must build up until we all come in the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach. So until we all come together in unity and in faith and in the knowledge of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the Son of Yahweh, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach, meaning reaching that peak level of righteousness while we still here. Because when the Lord come back and redeem us, the level of righteousness we're going to be functioning on then, it's going to be out of this world. Quite literally. But continuing, I'm going to jump down to verse 16. It says, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. So the whole body being fitly joined together. Your body can't function very well. Your body can't function very well when something is not right. Let's say you got a kidney that's going bad. That's like a filtering system. If it's going out, guess what? Now your body got to work a lot harder to filter that out. But everything works together in tandem, fitly joined together. Everything functions with the level of distributed power, and that's the same way we are in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It says again, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working of the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. So we all have a level of distributed power, and we work together, compact. And as we work together, we increase the body of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua unto the edifying of itself in love, meaning you get stronger in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. This truth gets stronger. Every brother that used their distributed power, that they've been distributed by Yahweh Yahushua, the more that happens, the more stronger this truth becomes, and the more our people get built up in the spirit, and the more you become built up in the spirit of doing the work of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. But we all have a level of distributed power, and we must function on whatever that level is, until the Lord increase us, until the Lord see fit for us to be increased according to His will, not according to our own will. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, I'm going to read verses 6 and 7. It says, "But I speak this by permission, and not of commandment. For I would that all men were even as myself, but every man hath his proper gift of Yahweh, one after this manner, and another after that." So, point blank, period. Paul was saying, I would, you know what I'm saying, I would that men be like myself, because Paul, he was like, hold on, let me grab something real quick. Yeah. I think Paul, yeah, he was like, hey man, I wish, because Paul was focused on Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and doing the work. He like outside distractions wasn't. So he would say, I would rather you be like me, but every man has his proper gift. Every man has his distributed level of power that he's been given by Yahweh Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? One after this manner and another after another manner, as I said before. Brother might be a toe, brother might be a foot in this truth. Toes, especially your big toes and your feet, have a lot to do with balance. People don't think so, but your big toe play a big role in having balance. It helps you balance, believe it or not. It ain't always your equilibrium in your brain. Well, that too, but But as spoken in verse 7, every man has his own level of distributed power that he has gotten from Yahweh Yahushua. And you can only function on that level until the Lord increase you. You can't function like an eye, and you may be you may be the nervous system that make the eye see. Help the eye to see, to pull the load. 1 Peter. Chapter 4. Verses 10 and 11. It says, "As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold of the grace of Yahweh." So every man has received the gift. Every man in this truth has received a level of distributed power. Even so, minister the same one to another. So we must also minister and edify each other and build each other up as well. And to others, and be, as good stewards over the manifold of grace, meaning be a good steward, meaning treat this truth and the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and the laws, statutes, commandments with great honor and great respect, and be a good steward, meaning appreciate what the Lord has given you and take care of what he has given you. Verse 10. It says, "If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Yahweh. And if any man minister, let him do it. Let him do it as of the ability which Yahweh giveth, that Yahweh in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen." So if any man speak, let him speak like the oracles of Yahweh. Let's get that definition of the word oracle real quick. It's not it. It says, "Let them speak as the oracles of Yahweh." This is the word. Well, it don't have oracles, but it have the word oracle. It says, "A message from Yahweh, or a message from God or Yahweh, expressed by divine inspiration through a priest or priestess in an answer to a human inquiry, usually respecting some future event." It says, or oracle, an authoritative person who divines the future. Or another word, well, oracle, a noun. This is a prophecy, usually obscure or allegorical, revealed by a priest or priestess to believed to be infallible. So basically, the first or the synonym words: prophet, prophesizer, seer. So let that man that hath received the gift of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, let him speak as the oracles of Yahweh. And if any man is ministering or ministers, let him do it according to the ability which the Most High Yahweh hath given him, that Yahweh in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. You know what I'm saying? To whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. So basically, let that man operate in his level of distributed power that he has been given. Last point, let's go back to 1 Corinthians chapter 14. So we all got a level of distributed power that we have. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 1. It says, follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, but rather that ye may prophesy. So follow after charity. You know, you do right by your brothers. You know, you treat your akwakim, your sisters, with respect. You know, you honor your father and your mother. You know, you do the things that you're supposed to do according to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts. Desire the gifts of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which is prophecy. You know, like Daniel, interpretation of dreams. You know, and various things like that. But at the same time, but rather prophesy that, but ask for gift that rather you can be able to prophesy and expound and elaborate on what the Lord is saying in His Word. I'm going to jump down to verse 3, my last point. It says, but he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification and exhortation and comfort. So those, when you desire to prophesy, you speak to men unto edification. When you prophesy to somebody, you always have the intention to build them up. You know what I'm saying? And exhort them and comfort. Let them know the truth. And let them know how to turn back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. You know. But every man has his level of distributed power in his truth. And according to the scriptures, we're supposed to operate in that level of distributed power, because that's what the Lord has given us. Whatever your ability is, you do that to the best of your ability. You know, and you operate in your level of distributed power, because we've all been given a certain level of power in this thing. So with that, Shalom.